The boy almost didn't see the man at first. The morning fog clung low to the forest floor, and the trees stood like silent witnesses as the little boy followed a narrow trail with a paper bag swinging from his hand. Then he tripped over something metallic, cold, and heavy, and when he looked up, his breath left his chest in a rush of fear. A massive man sat slumped against an old oak, leather vest torn, hands chained tight around the trunk, blood dried dark along his temple. The patch on his back was unmistakable, even to a child who had only heard whispers from adults. Hell's Angel. In that instant, the boy faced a choice that would ripple across the lives of more than 2,000 riders. If you believe stories of kindness, courage, and second chances still matter in this world, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps keep powerful stories like this alive. The boy was 11, small for his age, with worn sneakers and a jacket too thin for the cold. His name barely mattered compared to the weight he carried inside him. He lived with his grandmother at the edge of town, close enough to the woods that nature had become his refuge. His father had been gone for years, his mother lost to a life that collapsed under its own mistakes. People often crossed the street when they saw bikers thunder past town, and he had been taught to fear them too. Yet standing there, staring at the chained man, fear tangled with something else. The biker did not look like a monster. He looked broken, exhausted, and frighteningly human. The boy's first instinct was to run. His legs even twitched to obey. But then he noticed the flies buzzing around the man's wounds, the way the chains had bitten into flesh, the way the biker's chest rose unevenly with each breath. Someone had left him there to suffer, maybe to die. The forest felt suddenly too quiet, as if waiting to see what kind of person the boy would be. His hands shook as he tightened his grip on the paper bag, inside which was a simple sandwich his grandmother had packed. He thought of her words about doing right even when it scared you. The thought didn't erase the fear, but it steadied him enough to take one careful step closer. The biker stirred slightly, not awake but not gone either. The boy noticed the dirt ground into the man's knuckles, the tattoos faded by age and sun, the scars that hinted at a life full of battles no child should have to understand. Whoever had chained him there wanted him to feel powerless. The boy felt small and powerless too, but in a different way. He knew he couldn't unlock the chains or carry the man. He knew adults would tell him to stay away. Still, walking away felt like leaving part of himself behind. He did the only thing he could think of. He set the bag down within reach and slowly backed away, heart hammering. Then he ran, not home, but toward the road. His lungs burned as he sprinted, his mind racing faster than his feet. He flagged down the first car he saw, breathless and terrified, and poured out what he had seen to strangers who could have dismissed him as a foolish child. Something in his eyes must have convinced them, because within minutes, phones were out, calls were made, and the quiet morning began to change. News travels fast among riders, especially when injustice is involved. By afternoon, the woods were no longer silent. The distant rumble of engines rolled like thunder, growing louder, heavier, until the ground itself seemed to vibrate. One by one, then in waves, motorcycles appeared along the road, riders from different chapters, different states, drawn by a single message spreading across the network. One of their own had been left chained like an animal. And a little boy had refused to look away. When the first riders reached the tree, they found the man still alive, barely, the sandwich gone. The chains were cut in seconds. Medics arrived soon after, called by riders who had more than speed in their veins. As the injured man was lifted away, whispers spread about the kid who had found him, the kid who had chosen mercy over fear. The story passed from helmet to helmet, growing heavier with each retelling. By nightfall, it was no longer just about a chained biker. It was about a child who reminded hardened men of something they thought they had lost. Days later, the boy stood nervously beside his grandmother as a sea of motorcycles lined the dirt road near their home. He had never seen so many riders in one place, leather and chrome stretching farther than his eyes could follow. The sound was overwhelming, but beneath it was a strange calm. No one shouted. No one threatened. They came with lowered heads and open hands. The man from the tree, bandaged and weakened, stood among them, alive because a child had dared to care. The riders did not come for revenge that day. They came for gratitude. They repaired the boy's grandmother's house, brought groceries, fixed the leaking roof, and cleared the overgrown yard. They raised money quietly, not for pride, but for the future of a kid who had shown them what courage really looked like. The boy watched in awe as men the world often feared showed a gentleness he had never imagined. Something inside him shifted, a belief taking root that people were more than their worst reputations. Before the ending, take a moment to comment below and tell us what you would have done in the boy's place, or what this moment means to you. Years later, long after the engines faded from that road, the story still lived on. Among riders, it became a reminder passed down to new generations, not about power or fear, but about humanity. Among townsfolk, it softened old judgments. And for the boy, it became a compass. He grew up knowing that even the smallest act, done in the darkest place, could change the course of countless lives. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that compassion can exist where we least expect it, please like, share, and comment to let us know. Your engagement helps these stories reach others who might need hope today.